welcome to the 90th installment of Em Alejandro, your number one place for sports, cars, video games, fitness. If you're a man, you're here. Mr. Alejandro, about to tell him.
What you about to tell him, Alejandro?
I'm about to tell him about the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Tell him, Alejandro.
Here we go, baby. The return of Mr. Alejandro's top 5. And let's start off with quarterback number 5. I'm going with Phillip Rivers. I am a big fan of Phillip Rivers. I think he's tough, he's gutsy, he's not mobile. So he already knows, yo, either I'm throwing the rock or I'm getting punched in the mouth by one of these defenders. Once upon a time, he played with an injury, a torn ACL in a postseason game. He's got the guts like Mr. A. His throwing style is a little bit unique. It's a little unorthodox. He throws kind of a sidearm throw. The last person I saw to throw like this was Vince Young. His career didn't really work out, but shout out to my man VY, because he held it down. I'm a big fan of VY's, and I wish his career went a little bit better. But Phillip Rivers is an accurate quarterback. He's somewhat smart with the ball, I would say. There are some times where he plays a little bit questionably, but he's good enough to make it in Mr. Alejandro's top 5, baby. And he was in the same draft as Eli Manning and Big Ben Roethlisberger. Those are 2 top named quarterbacks, and he managed to show up and showcase, yo, I was worthy of the pick for the San Diego Superchargers. Number 4, I got Andrew Luck. He was the first pick in the draft a few years ago, and he was replacing Peyton Manning. Now, when you're replacing Peyton Manning, if you don't know who that is, he's a legend. If you're trying to replace a Michael Jordan, a Tiger Woods, there's going to be a lot of pressure on you because of the fact that you're replacing damn near God. So everybody's going to want to see, is he going to perform like this guy? You're always going to be in his shadow. And I think Andrew Luck has definitely held it down. One thing that impresses me about Andrew Luck, not just his arm strength, his accuracy, his smarts, his mobility, but is how mature Andrew Luck is at such a young age. I'm very impressed. Now, I must say this. I got to poke a little bit of fun at Andrew Luck because of the fact that he's a super burger. What do I mean by a burger? Look at this face. That's the face that he makes sometimes, and that's a burgerific face. I'm sorry, I gotta get on him for that. But also, if I'm on a football team or just in any position where I have a leader, Andrew Luck's our leader, I don't want my leader to necessarily be like one of the guys, you know. I want my leader to be a burger and, you know, really showcase his actions speak louder than his words. So shout out to Andrew Luck. I rocks with him. Number 3, I got Peyton Manning. This man right here is a walking robot. It's like his brain is a computer and he registers everything that goes on the field. When he's not on the field, he's watching film. He is improving. Smart, intelligent player. His footwork in the pocket is top notch. Great accuracy with the football, but he has had neck injuries, which has ruined his arm strength. That's why I only have him at number 3. And I almost put him at number 4. Maybe next year Andrew Luck will surpass Peyton Manning. But for now, the legendary Peyton Manning is still a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And I got him at number 3. Number 2, I gotta go with the golden boy, Tom Brady. Tom Brady, yes, I am putting him above Peyton Manning. Me personally, I will always feel like Tom Brady is a better quarterback than Peyton Manning. I feel like in Tom Brady's career, he's always had less to work with offensively, and Peyton has had more weapons. But we look at Brady, and he's had more success in terms of championship. 3 championships to Peyton's 1 championship. Some may say, well, Brady has had better defenses. That is true. He has had teams with a better defense and probably even a better coach, because Bill Belichick is a top-notch coach. No knock on Tony Dungy.
I'm better than you.
But I just feel like Brady has always had a better arm in terms of strength and power. Both of them have always been very accurate, very aware of what's going on the field. I would say Brady has a little bit more mobility than Peyton, but both of them are not really top-notch athletes. But I would take Tom Brady in my opinion. Peyton has had Starvin, Marvin, Harrison as a receiver, Reggie, Weezy as a receiver, Dallas Clark, Edgerrin James as a running back. And even when Edgerrin James wasn't running, he had Joseph Adai running the football. The only real running back Tom Brady has ever had was Corey Dillon. And the one time he had Corey Dillon, Tom Brady won a championship. Tom Brady never had a mean receiver until he had Randy Moss. No knock on Troy Brown, David Givens, Deion Branch, but they ain't no real receiver the way that Randy Moss was and the way that Peyton Manning had Starvin, Marvin, and Reggie Weezy. Now, when we gave Tom Brady Randy Moss, we saw Tom Brady take the NFL and his game to a whole nother level, shattering all passing records in terms of yards and touchdown, and Randy Moss did as well. So I feel like Tom Brady will forever be better than Peyton Manning. Tom Brady and Randy Moss did not win a championship. They got pretty close. But hey, When you're going against my New York Giants, you're gonna lose every time. Just saying. Now, the #1 quarterback in the NFL right now. Let me get some drum roll, please. A-Rod, and it ain't the baseball player, Aaron Rodgers. He's phenomenal. Aaron Rodgers, phenomenal footwork in the pocket. He has mobility similar to a Robert Griffin or a Russell Wilson or a Colin Kaepernick. He can move. He has pinpoint accuracy when moving out of the pocket. He doesn't all of a sudden scramble and lose accuracy. He's pinpoint and precise. And when he's running away from the defenders, looking for receivers, I like that. He keeps his eye on the prize. Focuses, arm strength for days. 100-mile-per-hour fastball type of arm strength. He is Gucci with arm strength. Extremely accurate, like I said before. Smart, does everything. When things begin to go bad for the team and fans start to get crazy, he has the collective swag, just like me, to just tell the crowd, yo, relax. I got this.
Don't panic. Don't panic.
A-Rod, right now, best quarterback in the NFL. A-Rod is a future Hall of Famer, but he definitely needs one more championship. If he can get 2 chips, I feel like, yeah, I could put him in the Hall of Fame right now. Right now, with 1 championship, I don't know yet. I don't want to just have people walk up in the Hall of Fame, you feel me? Now, let's go to a few quarterbacks that have the potential to be in Mr. Alejandro's top 5 quarterback ranking, but did not make it this season. Let's start off with Drew Brees. Drew Brees is definitely a top 5 caliber quarterback, but unfortunately this season, him and his New Orleans Saints are really not having a good season. I think, to be real with you, Drew Brees is kind of the problem. I know that there's a lot expected of Drew Brees because whenever he's bowling, which is basically every year, we see the Saints competing and, you know, a threat to win the championship. I like how Mark Ingram, their running back, is running for them this season. I feel like they have weapons like Jimmy Graham, one of the best tight ends in the NFL, Marquise Colson still, Brandon Cooks. So I feel like that team should be performing a little bit better. Their defense is inconsistent here and there. The Saints are losing games at home, and I'm looking at Drew Brees like, yo, I don't see him playing at that level I've grown accustomed to seeing him play. So right now, Drew Brees is not in Mr. Alejandro's top 5. Next up, let's go to
I'm a young champ like Ben Roethlisberger.
Big Ben Roethlisberger. I'm a big fan of Big Ben. Big Ben is a big boy and very difficult to sack. Why is he not in Mr. Alejandro's top 5? I feel like he needs to show me a little bit more. I have him in fantasy football after he threw those 12 touchdowns and no interceptions, okay? Then the very next week, after those 2 big games, he stinks up the joint against the 2-9 New York Jets. So I'm looking at Big Ben like, yo, top tier quarterbacks don't lose to a stinky New York Jets team. And trust me, TEA drinkers, I know all about my Jets. They're basura. You ain't supposed to be going to the New York Jets crib and losing to them. You're supposed to be beating them. I'm sorry, man. So Big Ben, I don't know. I can't put you in my top 5 right now. Even though he's won 2 Super Bowl championships right now, I'm looking at him with the side eye. I need to see a little bit something from him. Maybe by next season, things will change. Next up, another quarterback that could have made Mr. Alejandro's top 5, but did not is
Tony Romo.
Tony Romo. I gotta show Tony Romo some love because I am a Tony Romo disliker. I would say not a hater, a disliker, because I call it like I see it. Tony Romo, for the past few seasons, this season, last year, and the year before, I would say, has been balling. And unfortunately, at the end of the season, he was unable to, I would say, basically be on the field. He was injured. And his Dallas Cowboys suffered. They had Kyle Orton fill in for Tony Romo one year. And it's like, yo, prior to the past 2 seasons, Tony Romo has been stinking up the joint in big moments for the Dallas Cowboys. But now, right now, on the real, Tony Romo is playing at a high level, and if he can remain healthy and they can actually continue to give the ball to DeMarco Murray, I don't know why there's a lot of discussion about not giving DeMarco Murray the ball, but anyway, if they can continue to run the football and keep Tony Romo healthy, the Dallas Cowboys are definitely a legitimate championship contending team this season. I gotta show Tony Romo some love. He's playing at a high level. Unfortunately, he can't make Mr. Alejandro's top 5 yet because I have not seen him win the big one, quote unquote. But next season, if he could pull off some moves this year, he may be in Mr. Alejandro's top 5. Very elusive quarterback, hard to sack, and he keeps his eyes on the prize when he's scrambling out of the pocket. I like that out of Tony Romo. Stay healthy, please. Next up, I gotta show some love to Russell Wilson. I'm a big Russell Wilson fan. I've been on the Russell Wilson bandwagon since he came out of college. I'm glad that Coach Pete Carroll gave Russell Wilson an opportunity to win the job from Matt Flynn, because I was never slurping up Matt Flynn. A lot of cats slurped up Matt Flynn because Flynn threw 6 touchdowns and no picks. Yo, Matt Flynn, that's just how I always felt. Like the same way about Nick Foles and Kirk Cousins. I've never been on those guys' bandwagon. I don't know what it is about them. I just don't believe in them. But Russell Wilson, I'm so impressed by how smart he is and his decision making. We already know about his mobility and his scrambling when you're trying to sack him, but his decision making, I swear to you, it is so good. And this is why I have to put Russell Wilson at number 9, and I would look at number 10. My next quarterback would be Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick has the potential to be a top 5 quarterback. I'm extremely disappointed in Colin Kaepernick this season. I thought he was better than Russell Wilson. He's not having a better year than Russell Wilson. He's bigger and stronger than Russell Wilson for sure, and he has unbelievable arm strength. He has arm strength similar to Aaron Rodgers, okay, Colin Kaepernick, but his decision making this year has been very questionable. His accuracy, I don't know what happened to his arm over the summer, but I don't feel like he's playing the type of football that we've seen him play last season. So Colin Kaepernick, you need to step it up, son. Now, here are a few quarterbacks that I would love to see play more often, but unfortunately have not been able to play enough. Let's start off with Sam Bradford, quarterback for the St. Louis Rams. He has had several injuries happen to him year after year after year. It sucks because I really think that when he's been healthy, he's shown that he's been worthy of the first pick in the draft that the Rams spent on him a few years ago. So it pains me to see him not be able to stay healthy. I'm rooting for you, Sam Bradford. Next up, I want to see Johnny Manziel. He's about the paper.
The money is the motive.
Put him on the field. No knock against Brian Hoyer, because right now Johnny Manziel's a rookie and he's backing up Brian Hoyer, and Hoyer obviously is getting the burn. Manziel's not. But let's face it, Manziel's a star. He's going to get the burn. After the season, Brian Hoyer will be a free agent. I'm sorry, buddy. It's a gots-to-go situation. I need to see Johnny Manziel play. In college, he was a stud. He was great, and I think that he can succeed in the NFL if he can stay healthy. The reason why I say if he can stay healthy is because he's very small. For NFL size, he's small. So I feel like a few hits, and he may be on the injury reserve list. So stay healthy, and I expect to see you next season, Manziel. Next up is Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. In the beginning of the season, he was not starting. He's a rookie, first-round draft pick. Now he is getting some burn. I need to see a little bit more from him before I evaluate him. I'm definitely rooting for him. I liked his game in college, so I'm expecting some big things out of Teddy Bridgewater. Now, here are a few quarterbacks that I genuinely just don't believe in, and I'm going to break it down for you why. Let's start off with Jay Cutler. I think this man will model. Wow. Jay Cutler got a big $100 million contract, and I don't think he's worth it, to be real with you. I've been a Jay Cutler defender for years. He's been in the league for several years. He's always had great arm strength, but this season has been probably Jay Cutler's worst season. I can't defend him anymore. Whenever you need a big time play, Jay Cutler does not come through in the clutch. I'm sorry. It doesn't have to be the clutch. It could just be the beginning of the game, and he's just going to cost his team the game. And when I look at Jay Cutler's team, they have the recipe for a phenomenal offense. They have two, not one, but two Pro Bowl caliber wide receivers. They have a very good tight end in Martellus Bennett, a top 5 running back in the NFL in Matt Forte, and the offensive line that has been scrutinized for years for not blocking for Jay Cutler is blocking for him right now. So it's inexcusable what Jay Cutler is doing right now. I think he's a basuda. I think he's a bum. I think after this season, the Chicago Bears need to find a way to move on. And please, don't trade him to my New York Jets, because my Jets need a quarterback, and I don't want Cutler. He's trash. Basuda. Ugh. Next up, Andy Dalton for the Cincinnati Bengals. I don't believe in Andy Dalton. I feel like, similar to Cutler, he has some weapons, but unlike Cutler, he's not losing the games for his team. I just feel like he's limiting the team. I feel like he's a game manager, which isn't bad, but this team needs a little bit something to excel. They have a top tier wide receiver in AJ Green. I like their running game with Giovanni Bernard and Jeremy Hill. I like the Cincinnati Bengals defense, but I feel like if the Bengals had a better quarterback, a quarterback that could make plays, they could go a little bit further. It's similar to the situation the San Francisco 49ers had a few years ago, where they had Alex Smith, who was a game manager, holding things down, but then they brought in Colin Kaepernick, and he took the offense to the next level. So that, I think Cincinnati Bengals, they need to look into that. Now, as for these quarterbacks, Matt Ryan, Geno Smith, my man, not Superman, but Killer Cam Newton, Joe Flacco, Ryan Tannehill, Eli Manning, and Robert Griffin III. If y'all want to be in Mr. Alejandro's top 5, y'all gonna have to step it up, son. There you have it, folks. Mr. Alejandro's top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Feel free to agree or disagree with my list, and feel free to inform me of your own list. Y'all know what y'all gotta do. Tell them in the comments. Tonight's purple and paisley bow tie is brought to you by Ted Baker. It's black and purple, but don't you dare compare me to Steve Urkel. Tune in for more sports, cars, video game, fitness, and all that. Follow at Tell Em Alejandro to hear my immediate reaction to live sports events. Or, if you want to hear me cover a certain team or topic, tell them. Outro music. Get it. I said it's
Mr. Alejandro's top 5. It's Mr. Alejandro's top 5. Tell him your top 5. Gotta tell him your top 5. It's Mr. Alejandro's top 5. Mr. Alejandro's top 5. It's Mr. Alejandro's top 5. It's Mr. Alejandro's top 5. Mr. Alejandro's top 5. To top 5. To top 5.
T-E-A.
Tell him. Tell him.
T-E-A.
Tell him. Tell him.
T-E-A.
Top 5.